Since the first week of January 2025, large fires have been making news in the United States. We're talking about a terrifying spectacle worthy of a horror movie. As the days went by, the flames spread to different parts of Los Angeles, and the story became even more interesting to viewers when it came to light that the mansions of several celebrities were being reduced to ashes. You could hear Mel Gibson yelling at the authorities, and you could see Ben Affleck watching in distress as his mansion fell to pieces. Paris Hilton urged everyone not to abandon their pets, and many other stars like Anthony Hopkins, Adam Brody, John Goodman, Billy Crystal, James Good, Guillermo del Toro, and Mandy Moore showed the calamitous state of their properties. But while some felt empathy for the misfortune of these public figures, others began to look with doubt at everything that was happening, especially when it was communicated that one of P's luxurious residences, Diddy, had succumbed as a result of the catastrophe. For many, this set off an alert that was hard to ignore, and there is no doubt that in the case involving P, Diddy as the center of attention, it was one of the most disturbing media impacts since the Epstein era. It is believed that the award-winning producer and rapper would have organized multiple private parties at his home where minors were abused, parties that would have been visited by a large number of personalities from politics and the entertainment world. Simply put, the case of P. Diddy would expose a whole network of complicity among the most powerful in the world to do horrible things to the most vulnerable. If you want to know more about it, there are a series of reports that we released in 2024 on this channel. What's important now is to know that along with P Diddy's 17,000 square foot property, crucial evidence would be lost to carry out the trial, for which he has been waiting since he was arrested. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Isn't the matter of the fires nothing more than a big distraction to thwart the few steps that justice had been able to take against P Diddy and his people? Are these intentional fires that seek to burn the truth so that impunity can be established? Are we looking at a huge conspiracy? Could it be that many personalities agreed to lose their homes so that the dirt under the carpet would not be exposed? These questions are troubling everyone, but there's more. Why do some talk about P's connection? Diddy with Trump and Elon Musk? Are there completely unexpected threads in this nightmarish plot? Who are the major conspirators? How does all this relate to the famous and infamous Pizzagate? In an attempt to shed some light on all these questions, we have prepared this report on what no one wants you to know about the fires in Los Angeles. Before we proceed, note that this report is based on many conspiracy theories. Our intention is to tell this so that you can draw your own conclusions. We will provide you with information we consider relevant, and you will draw your own conclusions from it. If you are interested in this case and want us to talk a little more about these things, comment by writing the word fire below. Without further ado, let's begin. The official version. As of this report, the disasters have claimed at least 16 lives, destroyed over 12,000 structures, and forced 153,000 people to evacuate in Los Angeles. The fires are concentrated in several areas of the southern United States, and although authorities are still investigating the exact cause, the official version suspects a series of natural factors. On one hand, the strong Santa Ana winds would be involved, which combine with extremely high temperatures and dry vegetation, which would have created ideal conditions for sparks to carry the scorching heat to unthinkable limits. Secondly, it was vital for the spread of the flames that in the area the rainy season usually occurs from October to April. At the same time, many professionals maintain that Los Angeles is not immune to problems with fire. In fact, part of the local ecosystem depends on the soils regenerating every so often, so the flames would be part of natural processes. However, as the days passed and the hotspots multiplied, other secondary causes were discussed, such as human accidents, negligence, or the direct action of arsonists who would have taken advantage of the unfortunate situation to unleash their most terrible impulses. Even arrests were made of people who were pointed out as possible instigators of the fire. Little has emerged from these versions and accusations for the moment. Security forces are dealing with other, more urgent problems. As logically follows, not only was there loss of private property in exclusive neighborhoods, other essential structures such as hospitals, service stations, and government buildings were also compromised. Many roads also became impassable, which limits the arrival of aid and makes the work of the firefighters nothing short of titanic. The chaos does not seem to diminish, and the outlook is not encouraging, considering that even the water deposits were damaged. The California Department of Public Health has issued alerts for people in nearby areas to avoid exposure to toxic smoke and poor air quality. For his part, the head of departments of Los Angeles described the matter as one of the most destructive natural disasters. As if that weren't enough, everything is made worse by the appearance of various lootings that were reported in evacuated areas. As a result of this, the Los Angeles County Sheriff has confirmed that measures are being taken to prevent future incidents and that those responsible for promoting crime are being arrested. However, he couldn't help but mention that everything around there looks as if a particularly violent bomb had dropped. While activities are constant in the conflict zone, the risks and problems increase minute by minute, but not only that, suspicions also increase that something might not be being said, and that perhaps everything is a not so subtle smokescreen. And that's how our story returns to the start. Who is behind all of this? On January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump will assume the presidency of the United States. This businessman with a strong link to the entertainment world has never been known for being moderate when giving his opinions on what is happening in his country or in the world. That's why no one was surprised when he declared that politicians were handling the issue of fires like perfect incompetence. He stated that the current events might be among the worst disasters in the nation's history and questioned the way the matter is being handled by those in power. While the rest of the political figures chose not to create scandals and expressed their solidarity with the affected area, either by sending reinforcements or making various logistical resources available, Trump chose not to abandon his critical and confrontational stance. Some argue that he does what he does because he genuinely believes things are being done wrong. Others believe he does it to hide that he is actually complicit in what is happening, and by saying that, he ensures that the tension does not fall on him. Yes, what you hear. Remember that for conspiracy theory lovers, P Diddy and his people could be behind the fires in order to erase any evidence that could implicate people in high places. There are not a few who maintain that Trump could be one of these people whose reputation, especially considering that he will be president again, could be strongly tarnished in the United States. This may seem contradictory when considering that for many of his followers, Trump is precisely the savior who will put many pedophiles in jail. It should be noted that most of the groups that supported Trump's second candidacy adhere to the infamous Pizzagate. And what is Pizzagate? Let's summarize it in the following way. In March of 2016, the personal email account of Hillary Clinton's campaign manager was hacked. WikiLeaks posted his emails in November of 2016. Although there is no evidence to prove this today, many said that there were emails that mysteriously disappeared after being online for a few minutes. Some claim they successfully read the emails. It is supposed that these contained coded messages that connected several American restaurants and high-ranking officials of the Democratic Party with an alleged human trafficking and child abuse network. One of the establishments allegedly involved was the Comet Ping Pong Restaurant and Pizzeria in Washington, hence the name of the Pizzagate conspiracy theory. Opponents of Clinton's presidential campaign spread the conspiracy theory on social media, such as 4chan, 8chan, and 10. Quickly added to the mix was the alleged membership of these Democrats in satanic cults, and many concluded that only someone like Trump would be capable of confronting the advance of such a terrible evil. A 2012 video from The Apprentice has recently garnered attention, in which Donald Trump mentions P Diddy. What he said was specifically, and I quote, "I love Diddy, he's a good friend of mine, he's a good guy." In turn, Trump was photographed with the singer on several occasions. In 1997 at the opening of Diddy's restaurant, in 1998 at the Polo Club in New York, in 2004 an art exhibition alongside Melania Trump, and in 2008 at a gala. Beyond conspiracy theories, there is a certainty. Diddy and Trump were friends. It's clear that this doesn't prove anything, or is enough evidence to think that Trump could have participated in the legendary white parties. But assuming that Trump could have been compromised if Combs speaks, does it make sense that his hand is behind the fires? Is the future president purging the sins of all the millionaires and earning a few favors with this? Is he doing it to generate future alliances now that he will return to one of the most powerful countries in the world? Many are starting to believe that some of this may be true. They even point out that Trump would not be acting alone. And who would be by his side? None other than one of the businessmen he has gotten along with best recently. Elon Musk. Elon Musk's secret investor. Elon Musk, a significant Trump campaign activist, expressed support for the Pizzagate theory multiple times, calling Democrats insensitive and perverse. He also criticized Jennifer Lopez, his former partner at P Diddy. She should have suspected that something was going on in her environment. He accused her of being an accomplice. He did all this just when Lopez showed her support for Kamala Harris, the candidate against whom Trump ultimately won the election. However, little was mentioned at that time about something that would record that Elon Musk and P Diddy didn't come from such separate worlds. Court documents revealed that Diddy invested in 10 in the Elon Musk era, meaning the rapper would have financially supported the tech mogul to take over the social network and would have supported both his new policies and his expansion. Could these theories then be true that say Trump and Musk would be responsible for covering for P Diddy and keeping his secrets in the shadows? Is this all about a big political alliance orchestrated to make a clean slate? Are all these flames actually the beginning of a new order? Impossible to know. What is clear is that it's very difficult to know who to trust. Was Pizzagate created to divert attention from the real monsters? Or could it be that Pizzagate is just one of the many cover-ups among so many others that we still know nothing about? Could it be that every party, every powerful company, every political group, and every influential artist has their own closet full of skeletons? Could it be that there are no innocents in the whole matter? Today, the paradisical landscape of California, where the stars always seem to live their dream life, is a complete and literal hell. And that's not the worst part. The worst part, every hell has its devil. The big question is, who is the devil in this story?